Morning, guys. It is Tuesday, I want to say the 10th of December. I'm not sure on the date, but at any rate, I want to give you guys a walk around on what's going on here with the wood burning furnace shed setup. She's all sided. She's ready to go. Just got to get the ducts in the building. Still got to do a few things. I had a unique situation here where the chimney comes out the back of the building. You can see I've got some white flashing built out around some area that I had to box out and build out a little farther so I could keep my clearances on the outside of the building. Not that anything would probably catch, but they recommend 2 inches. I got about 3 at the peak there, so we're good. And I had to flash this whole thing off. But I still need to J-track this. I need to cut out a little bit more of siding. I'm never going to be able to squeak that J-track in there at this point. But yeah, that's what's going on here. Building turned out pretty good. I'm marginally pleased with it. Should be alright. Should do the trick. Like I said before, I'm not a carpenter, so I was kind of stumbling as I went to figure out things, you know, things I should have done first. Like I should have flashed that bottom of the door first. That was interesting, getting that flashing in there. Had to do that, and I had one boo-boo. You guys can see at the bottom here there's a piece of siding sticking out below another piece, and I should have quit while I was ahead the other evening. This angle at the gable here going up to the peak, that first section, or actually it was the last section, I cut the angle just a little off, so I had to cut it a little shorter, and I ended up with a 1.5 inch piece of siding that I had to lap behind the back, which is okay. The top piece is over that little stubby piece in the bottom, so the water will shed downward like it's supposed to. So I wanted to give you guys a little walk around of that. I'm firing this stove right now, and I apologize for the echo in the metal building, but here's the flue setup on the inside. I went with single wall stovepipe. This is a rear exit flue on this stove. So the collar comes out the back. I go straight into a 90 due to clearance issues. I have reduced clearance because I have a heat shield on the wall here. I just didn't have the room in the building that I thought I was going to have. This guy is a barometric draft regulator right here, and what this does is on a windy day, once you calibrate this one is not calibrated yet, I just have it to sit closed right now, this will start to open so that as a vacuum is being drawn in this pipe from wind over the top or other circumstances, it doesn't suck air through this firebox like a tornado. That's the whole idea behind this, to keep a regulated fire instead of one that just burns out of control, because no matter what you do with your damper inlet on the front, I've got the door open on the bottom because I'm just now firing it and getting a lot of air to it to burn it quick and get it hot. But no matter what you do with your controls here, even if you have this damper down quite a bit, if this thing starts sucking, it's going to pull all the air it can through the front of that stove, given what it can get. So I've installed this. I do need to get a manometer or a magnehelic and calibrate this, and basically it's calibrated in water column. You punch a little hole within no more than 18 inches from the flue collar, so I can punch a hole right here, it doesn't matter, and put the gauge into that and be able to calibrate that, and then you adjust this counterweight on here for when this will start to pull open. Alright, it's also got a key damper in here, and this you can choke back a little bit so all the heat's not going up your flue. But that all being said, inside this firebox at the top there's a flat piece of plate, and Tommy Shoe showed it in his video on his new wood furnace. It was actually distorted and had a hole in it, and that is a smoke baffle to keep the smoke from going directly out the flue. It actually touches the wall in the backside and comes 3/4 of the way to the front, so the smoke has to roll around up and go up and above it and then connects at the flue. So that's one thing that makes these stoves or furnaces a little more efficient. Not all of them have that. This is not an EPA stove by any means, but it's more efficient than some of the older kinds. So yeah, that's what we got there. That's all done, ready to go. I'll give you guys a little fire shot here. Open the door slowly. We're still gonna get a little smoke out the front here because there's creosote and shit on the door that's smoking. You can see that. But this has only been running 10 minutes. And I built a top-down fire. I put a bunch of heavy stuff on the bottom and put my kindling on the top. It's already starting to collapse on itself in there, which is okay. After 15 minutes, we're almost up to 300. So once this burns down to a little more coals, I'll throw some heavier logs on top of that, and we should be good to go. Today we will be doing ductwork and all of that business. Now I want to talk a little bit about this spin wheel damper on the ash door here. You can fiddle with that with the wood fire. And I'll walk outside because that's going to get noisy. You can fiddle with that guy if you have a wood fire going, but wood fires want their air from the top, not from the bottom underneath those grates. So you can monkey with that a little bit. I wouldn't run it open because you will draft that stove pretty hard and overheat it. So I wouldn't mess with that a whole lot. It'll take some tinkering, but basically all your air control to the fire is going to be run off this damper right here. And it's got that bimetal control on it. So as it gets hotter, it'll drop the damper door in the bottom of that. It's hooked by a chain up to that guy on the top. So that's what I'm going to talk about for now. We're at 8 minutes. I'll bring you guys back once I get some ductwork run and all that, and hopefully sometime this week we'll be able to do a review on how this thing's doing. So I will catch you guys in a bit. One more thing I was thinking about that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I got to figure out what I did with it. Here it is. Okay, you got, when you're putting that stovepipe together, this black single wall stuff, get you some of this. Any brand will probably be fine. This is furnace cement. And what this does is prevent leaks in your pipe joints. So you take this and you put your bead on the female side, not the male side, because if you put it on the male, it'll probably push off. You know, use your judgment, whatever works for you. But put it inside there, and you don't have to smear it around or anything like that. And then when you put your next piece of pipe up to it and put your, and this is 6-inch, so I'll put 3 screws in it at 3 different, you know, predetermined spots, whatever you think, equal spaced if you can. Sometimes clearances don't allow for it. That will help seal up that pipe so that you don't get vacuum leaks in that pipe or smoke spillage. So just a quick tip there. All right, I hate to keep doing this to you guys, but I just thought of some other things I think are important. First of all, when you run this stove for the first time in the day, run it hot. Get it up there 400 or 500 degrees. It'll help bake that creosote that's in the chimney and dry it out. This is a wood furnace, and at times it's going to smolder due to that thermostat shutting the air off to it, or if you've got the damper real low. So you're going to make creosote. But at first you want to burn it hot. You know, get that bed of coals going and all that. Another consideration is, I put this in an 8-foot by 8-foot building, okay? Now imagine this unit is in the basement of your house as an add-on furnace. You probably have a lot more volume of air in that basement than I do in this room right here. Now I've left the soffits open, but that doesn't help me all that much because I have a ceiling in here that's blocking most of that air off. Now when I close this door, and the fans are running on that, and I'm not using a cold air return and sucking air from inside that building there, you're going to start drawing a vacuum in this little room. So what you'll probably need to do, if you are following this setup and decide to take this on, you'll probably need to make some way to get makeup air to this stove or furnace. And what I plan on doing is taking in this side wall here, I will put a piece of PVC pipe. I don't have any outside. All I got is some donkey dick back there. I don't have anything else, just flexible stuff. I will probably take some white PVC, not 18-inch like that piece used to be, but smaller, maybe anywhere from 2-inch to 4-inch pipe, and I'm going to stub it through that wall, and I'll bring it across, and I'll show you later. I'll put an elbow on it facing upward so that stove can get air from outside, because it just will not be able to draft enough in this tight building. This stove will never burn, especially with these fans going in the back sucking all my air out. So I may also build a little cold air return over this and stub another pipe out so this is pulling outside air. Now you might argue that that air is going to be really cold air, but I don't want the dirty shop air and paint fumes coming into the heat exchanger of this. I'd rather suck cold outside air and fight it a little than have dirty paint fume air going into my cold air return. Just another way to get some fresh air going to these so that it's not drawing all your combustion air away. Alright, you can see I got a little furnace cement on the outside of that. I was emptying that tube and I couldn't remember if I cemented that joint internally, so I wiped a little bit of schmag on the outside of that, make it work. Same thing with the flute collar. But this is going to get long and boring, so I'm going to cut you loose there. That's all I can think of for now. There it is. Got hot air blowing in the shop. Give you guys a quick walk around to the finish up here. I still got some tweaking to do, but other than that, we're good. Hope everybody had a good day. It's starting to rain here a little bit. It's kind of yucky. Yeah, it's that kind. But we'll make this short and sweet. Alright, so what we got going from building to building is 8-inch galvanized ductwork, and I've got a sleeve of fiberglass insulation with the vapor barrier over it. This is flex duct that I pulled the flex duct out of. I'll show you how I sealed it at the wall here. Beetle caulk. You just put it in strips and smush it around, and I still have to tape that joint up so we don't get any moisture in there. And there's our 2 runs of ducts. I wanted to go one over top of the next, but the problem I was going to run into, by the time I put this duct over top of that duct, I'd hit a purlin in my wall. You can see the row of screws, and I put this duct in first and ran it into the building, and I had just enough room between studs in the building. They're 24 on center, no purlins, so I had just enough room to get those in and straddle my wall stud in here. If I would have went up, I would have had to go way up, and I would have been 3/4 of the way to my soffit, but unfortunately the ceiling is too close. I wouldn't have had any clearance on the ceiling, so side by each is the way it had to go. Unfortunately, if I get concerned that any snow load is going to take those down, I will build a support underneath them. I could even build a roof over top of them. We'll see how things go. Now, she's burning good, about 400 and something. I got a bunch of pallet material in there. I don't recommend burning pallets on anything inside because the gases inside the wood start huffing and puffing and you'll get smoke backdrafting out of the stove, which isn't good. But basically, we came off of the stove collars for the hot air plenum with nothing but a 90. This whole box that surrounds the stove, I can't even back up far enough away from it in here. There we go, now we're focused. Is the plenum. So we came straight off of that with double adjustable 90s so I could twist it around to get it through the wall and get it level going from building to building. So it didn't look like I made a mess. Now yeah, I kind of hacked the wall a little bit in here, but no worries. I'm not worried about heat loss or anything. Through that, I did tape all the joints on my ducts with the 3M foil tape. It's not expensive, it's like 10 bucks a roll. I didn't even use a third of a roll. All these are taped. I've seen people will tape these swivels. I may come back and do that, I don't know. I did tape where the snap lock comes together on the pipe all the way down. Put my finger in there, this thing doesn't want to focus. Then I got my barometric draft regulator. Every once in a while you see it teeter a little. I have to adjust it. I have not adjusted it. I'll probably foil tape to the plenum here a little bit, and that'll probably be it. So that's where we're at for now. Give you one final look. See here. I'll stand back. This thing's chooching pretty bad because I dampered it down. Yeah, it's putting out some shitty smoke right now. It's not burning clean. Plus I've got junk wood in it. I just wanted to do a test. Why don't we take the infrared thermometer inside and see how warm that air is coming across from building to building. It's 50 degrees in here with the door open, but it doesn't tell me anything. Our pipe temperature here is only in the 80s right now. So let's see what's coming in the building. We may have to do some tweaking here. Plus I don't have much of a fire going, just a bunch of scrap shit pallet wood. Front of the stove's hot, but I don't know how much heat it's producing. If that thing can keep chooching me 80 to 100 degree air, we're probably good. Thank you guys for the nice comments on these videos too. This is kind of a first time deal for a lot of things for me. The air coming out is 200 degrees. It's funny, you shoot the outside of that and it's 65. So there you guys go. We'll talk to you tomorrow.